taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut, season off top, you stop breathing.
Let you
Let's
lead
go.
off the poll topic. You know the.
I got you. You know what I'm saying? We got another poll fresh out the oven. You know what I'm saying? It's like our chopped cheese poll for tonight. You know what I'm saying? So we got the best poll. So you know what I'm saying? But this one is, if you had to choose who makes it into the Hall of Fame right now out of this group, who would you pick? Wilder, Triple G, Crawford, or Loma? We got 36 votes so far. Keep voting. And an overwhelming majority, 75%, said Crawford would go in.
Okay, I was part of that 75. All right.
Ooh.
Wilder and Triple G both got 11% apiece, and Loma got 3%. So basically one vote. Yeah.
That was a pity vote. And I'm like, imagine a double gold medalist is fucking... Now you see what I'm talking about. It's like now, and this is what happens when one established side dick ride someone too much, that people that are going against it are being too hard now. Cause you can honestly say Lomachenko out of that whole list is guaranteed fucking Hall of Fame.
All of them, yeah. The Hall of Very good this day and age, yeah.
And honestly, all four of them are getting no doubt. Like, no doubt. But if someone had a gun to my head on some like, hey nigga, who's getting in there? I feel like, to me, it's between Golovkin and Lomachenko, because I feel like we've at least seen them fight the best, or we've seen how their career played out. Politics be damned. But you saw that, like with Wilder, I feel like there's too many heavyweights that he could have matched up with, and we talked about it earlier with Brian Jennings, Chisora, all of them, and
too many question marks. Right.
Too many question marks, and everybody wants to say his right hand is guaranteed this, that, but it's like, look who you fought. Like it's just the power is relative to who you fighting. So and then when you look at Crawford gets in too because of multiple divisions. Yeah, I get that. That's cool. But if your best win or your most dangerous opponent is Sean Porter right before he retires, it's not really the opponent to be making me be like, yeah, he put a stamp on the Hall of Fame arrival.
Hey, didn't we do Bud versus Triple G one time, like a couple years ago?
Who had the better career? Most people voted Triple G.
Most people picked Triple G at that time.
Yeah, and remember we put it in the thread. Shout out to the Kali. Kali was good. Remember we had it on the Kali, and you had niggas who can't stand Golovkin, fuck, I can't stand Golovkin, but you know what? God, I had to vote for him. Like, damn,
they were
is it that serious? Like, it doesn't let you know how hard, like Crawford disappointed people, because they both from the same era. Anytime someone says, man, you know, HBO was hyping up those Euros, I'm like, yeah, right along with Crawford.
Right.
Matter of fact, they hyped up Euros to fight him.
Yeah.
So this, like, let's keep it all the way 100, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all Hall of Famers. Yo, I voted for Golovkin. The pilot said Crawford. Who y'all vote for?
I said Crawford.
Oh, you said Crawford. My bad.
I said me and Pilot both did Crawford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I picked Triple G.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like you said, all four. I mean, you know, this is a day.
They're all going in.
They're all
whether they should or not, they're all going in.
Like, we can't look at the past accomplishments 20, 30 years ago because boxing isn't the same, element. So, I mean, they're not going to have the resumes of guys like, Tito Trinidad or,
That's the problem. They could.
That's the problem. That's
politics is so bad now, man. Can they?
Okay. You know what? There's this guy at 140 who finally had a bad fight this year that has basically been telling niggas like you to hold their cup, hold their beer for this whole time.
Josh Josh T.
Josh fucking Taylor, the one y'all niggas can't stand.
Yeah, I can't stand dude, but he's a dude. I can't say anything about about what he's doing because dude is beating the best 140 pounds.
And he takes meaningful fights, so like even a tune-up don't even seem like it's out of place. It just seems like, yo, this is the right fight. He needs to have at this moment, get it over with, get to the next fight. So remember, Keith Thurman was on his way to that.
Yeah, injuries derailed him.
Lomachenko was on his way to that. But it's like when you start, and look, if we would have Lomachenko fight a Jermaine Ortiz level guy after T.O., it would have been like, okay, he bounced back. That T.O. shit was just a fluke, whatever. But he really took it on some like, damn, he got to fight his leftovers. He got to get his confidence back. He want to outdo T.O. It was just a bad look. And a lot of times boxing politics keep people in these cycles where they're not making the best fights. And if you already only fighting once or twice a year, you know, that shit's like significant.
Right.
Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Leo Santa Cruz fucked up his career because like dude was a beast at bantamweight, but once he started going up and started having some selected fights, yeah, dude killed his. He should not be Hall of Fame. Like,
oh, and Lone Star, you right? Who on Crawford's 38 wins, 29 KOs is a Hall of Famer. Exactly.
So here's my thing about the list. I mean, Lomachenko. I mean, I'm day one. I've never been a Lomachenko. I've never liked Lomachenko. I mean, I always think he is slightly overrated. However, he does have. I mean, he does have names on his resume. And had he actually followed through and actually became undisputed at lightweight, it would have spoke more volumes. But I think what kind of, I think the reason why is because, everyone knows he ducked Haney. Like, I mean, that, we have to be honest with you. He ducked Devin Haney. He called for he got the franchise shit, which is frowned upon, and then he lost to Teofimo Lopez without a rematch clause. So that's the situation. And he had 3 of the belts. All he had to do was face Haney, who was more than willing to concede everything to do it. But at the end of the day, Loma probably will get him because, like I said, he's a 3-division champion. And like I said, dude was actually doing it at lightweight. Crawford, I mean, I probably champion for Crawford more than most because I think I said today Crawford is probably the best American fighter, probably one of the best fighters today, probably the best fighter today in boxing. But unfortunately, like I said, and he has, I mean, he's a 3-division champion. He was undisputed in one of them,
and lineal in 2.
Yeah, lineal in 2. I mean, like most, only Canelo has this type of resume, like yeah. So it's like, but no one looks, but obviously Crawford doesn't have the names like Canelo does, so it's like, and as Lone Star is put in there, who's his toughest opponent, Sean Porter, and people don't put a lot of respect on his name. So that's why I always keep on saying in the previous cast, like Crawford and Spence is his legacy fight. Like that's why that fight needs to happen, because that fight will pretty much say, okay, yeah, he should be Hall of Fame or whatever, because those are in their proverbial primes, give or take. Some stuff knocked off because of some outside things, and Triple G. I mean, politics. I mean, firstly, because he spent so many years in Germany and he had litigation there, and he got to U.S. kind of late. And then, obviously, you've heard me talk about all the time about what happened with middleweight. How Lemieux was the only champion that actually put his belt on the line in a timely fashion. Everyone else kind of just like chickened out for the most part, and some just flat out ducked him. Fucking Sturm, Miguel Cotto, they ducked him like hard. Sergio ducked him. They all did.
Which leads to another poll: is waiting somebody, aging somebody out considered a duck?
Yeah,
and he had some of that too.
Yeah, absolutely too. So it got to the point where they waited until Triple G started showing, the little, chinks in his armor, and then, and then they, then immediately they try to discredit him. Like once he lost his first fight. Not knowing that the dude had one of the most ridiculous winning and KO streaks in there. And even in this case, he still managed to at least knock off another champion, at least try to unify it. He did that. And even at 40, he still managed to unify another belt. Like, but he just, he came up short this time around against Canelo again. But, that type of consistency is still insane, for what he did. He still knocked off a good amount. He still knocked off a champion, champions here and there. And then, which brings me to Wilder. Now, if honestly, you probably go off on Wilder before his resume. Like, I mean, he has 40-something fights, but has only beaten 2 fighters that were heavyweight champions. But his best win is someone who's probably never going to sniff a heavyweight title ever. So it's like, you gotta make it make sense with me. Like, I mean, yeah, yes, I know the Wilder story. I know that Wilder, he got it from the mud. He was a bronze medalist and everything like that. But Golden Boy did him a big injustice, putting him with so many jobbers this, jobbers that. Like, that's why it's like, that's why it's like his what he tried to do when he tried to raise his competition, he started struggling. You saw all that stuff, but the right hand was carrying him out there. But the best fighter he fought beat him down. Like, it wasn't like, first fight was outboxing, second fight was a beatdown, third fight a severe ass whooping. And usually when you get losses like that, like, what do you fall back on for your resume? Like, yes, I know people's, he knocked out 40-something fighters, he has a 92% KO rate. Against who? Against
then
who?
You start looking at them records, that record, and it's like, them fights is looking like the Jobber Festival Awards.
Right, because none of his opponents have leveled up. So, I mean,
that's why the power is relative to who you facing. It's like, I don't know why no one uses that when it comes to Wilder, but for every other fighter they use it.
But you think with Wilder is saving grace, though? I mean, whether you like it or not, I know you can say who has he faced to do this.
He's a heavyweight.
No, but he passed literally, like he's tied with Muhammad Ali, the 10 consecutive title defenses in heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? I know.
Thing though, all the shit
It's funny because with both Wilder and Triple G, everybody goes to the consecutive title defenses that they both had, because like Triple G had like 12 and Wilder had like 10. And like that's like a big part of both of their the argument for them.
But the thing is, it's like there was actual top tanked world class middleweights in Triple G's defenses. Like Wilder comparatively was fighting like journeymen and club fighters at the same time. And y'all saw this. And this is the thing.
I didn't think much of either of their competition, if we're being honest, but I get it.
Yeah,
dude, Wilder ain't fighting no one half as good as fucking Curtis Stevens. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't like Curtis Stevens highly either, but I get it.
Dude, you gotta look, man. If we boxing niggas, we gotta look at this shit like motherfucking boxing. Skill wise, and I know heavyweight's a little different, but Wilder has not fought his average competition isn't as skilled as Curtis Stevens or Lemieux or as dangerous either. Because just because you at heavyweight and you're a bigger guy doesn't mean you throw the best, hardest fucking punches. There's heavyweight niggas that you see in sparring, and you've been to fucking gyms. I've seen light heavyweight put their foot in the ass of goddamn mediocre heavyweights. Big niggas be getting their ass whooped all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it happens.
And the thing about the whole 10 successful defenses, like the ones that did, like Vlad gets maligned all the fucking time, but Vlad was cleaning out his division. The only person he couldn't beat was his brother.
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's funny. Shout out to Broadway Joel. Broadway did a cast on this about is Wilder a Hall of Famer, and the comparison he actually did was he compared him to Vitaly, because it's like they had similar title defenses and not very good ones, like not very good people that they're defending against. Even though Vitaly's defenses were better than Wilder's, but Vitaly's resume
Vitaly's resume is like 3 times as better as Wilder. Like that's, look, you know what's bad? Wilder's resume is so bad that niggas have to reach to compare. Cause all we doing, even without the defenses, and we're just looking at names on the resume. Wilder hasn't beat anybody on the level of Adamant.
Right. And the worst thing is too is like it's gotten so bad that people
has he beat anybody on the level of Sam Peter?
in the West that people are trying to say, it's where it's like, so if you think Lomachenko's a Hall of Famer, why isn't Wilder a Hall of Famer? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean,
dude, Wilder's a Hall of Famer for surface level accomplishments. Let's be honest. He got a bronze medal, cool. He got some title defenses. He was heavyweight champ. He has knockout power. Right era, right time.
He's the face of the American heavyweight boxing of the past decade, basically. So he's gonna get in because
he's gonna get in for that. That's why I said, but it's low standards. It's like we want that for him. We want that for him. Like
he overachieved like a motherfucker. But yeah, I mean, obviously,
it's not even that I want that for him because I don't really care enough to want it for him.
No, not specifically you, but just
no.
In general, like it stands.
The way I look at it is, if you help define an era, like, because that's the thing, I would put all like Fury, Joshua, Wilder, and Usyk would all get in for me because they all define an era. You can't talk about this crop of heavyweight era of boxing without talking those four. You just can't.
You said Fury, Joshua,
Wilder, and Usyk. You can't talk about this era of heavyweight division.
Yeah, they all make
without
it.
them.
But if you had to put them in order, Wilder would probably be trailing at the end.
It was really good.
Yes.
Because even against Vitaly, he doesn't match up. Honest to God, like Vitaly beat a prime version of Chris Areola.
Beat him down, actually.
Yeah, like
had him crying afterwards.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, like Wilder doesn't have a win better than Shannon Briggs.
Yeah.
And this is Vitaly took a 4-year break and came back and wrecked shit. That nigga literally said, "Hold on, I'll be back," and just came back and destroyed motherfuckers. Like
that's a loaded question.
He was the dad that went out for milk and never came back, but this time he actually came back.
And he brought 2 gallons of milk. He brought a chocolate milk in that motherfucker.
It's a loaded question. I don't know if it's attainable, but Android says if Wilder goes on a run of Hellenius, Ruiz, Usyk, Joshua, or Joyce, will you crack your top 10 list all time?
I don't know about all that now. Top 10.
Nigga, what you smoking?
I don't know about all that.
Like that's the most wishful thinking of like it. Like,
that'd be a hell of a second act. That'd be
he'll beat Hellenius and he'll beat Ruiz, but the rest of them I don't know if he'd beat them. But that'd be a great, great
and Hellenius and beating Hellenius and Ruiz just softly lets us silently agree that he should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, I mean, that's all that does. Like we won't argue it too hard anymore. We'll be like, yeah, cool, yeah, I get it.
Hey, Hellenius is a live dog in that fight, though.
I mean, if Hellenius wins or Hellenius does well, it's because Wilder has less in him than what we thought. Like he has
they sparred together, bro. Like he could have a Luda Val moment.
Yeah, pretty much. That's one of the things. Like, I mean,
and he's big like Wilder, so he's not fighting up to him. That's one of the chances Joe Joyce has. Like a lot of these, unless you're Brian Jennings, who you're tall enough and it's your style to get in there close. Mm-hmm. Because very few people can outbox you shorter. Well, that big height disadvantage, and could do it for consistently. Like Spilka was doing that.
Yeah, he was doing it pretty well until he ran into Wilder's probably most brutal right hand outside of the Fury fight.
And that's the same. Like he has the mid-tier of mid-tier contenders on his resume. Right. When he did fight them.
Yeah, but the worst thing about when people argue about Wilder's resume is you can tell these niggas were not even watching those early heavyweight title fights from Wilder. Like, they weren't because they were picking all types of nonsense names out of it. I was like, no. And because I mean, yes, I understand that niggas want the American heavyweight, but they shouldn't have to settle just for anyone
No, hold on, wait. No current heavyweight has half a career this far. Like
Usyk actually could probably do it.
Usyk, yeah.
Usyk just off like a couple wins, but like
he's undisputed. He's undisputed cruiserweight.
Undisputed cruiserweight, and he holds 3 of the heavyweight belts. Like, dude is
and he did it without having a gang of fights. He ain't had to have 30-some fights. He ain't had to have 50 fucking fights, 40-some fights.
Yeah, Usyk's resume. You cannot argue Usyk's resume unless you just unless you just want to be.
And this is not even
Unless you're a real
counting
hater. Unless you're a real hater. Like, for him to go to everybody's backyard and take their belts, like, as well.
Yeah, like, and especially a lot of places, like, you know, just oh fuck it, like, because there are places that would take his belts. Hell, they try to take his belts in the fucking Joshua in the second fight, and I think Joshua lost, and I'm a Joshua fan. You know?
Oh, here we go again, Lone Star Staff. Usyk is a heavyweight who came down to cruiser. Oh my! You know what? I'm not gonna do this again. We're not doing this again.
I mean, Usyk did what he did, and he went back up to heavyweight. It wasn't like he did. He went. I mean, Usyk's hardest fight.
I mean, either way, he pulled it off. Like, that's like saying, okay, then you agree with all them damn Twitter niggas who was like, Shakur's just a weight bully. Because I see that shit too. I didn't even want to touch it.
Hurd is a weight bully. Oh. No, Spencer's a middleweight that came down to welterweight. Like,
yeah.
I mean, hell, even Thurman like went down from 154 to middle. I mean, Porter went down from 168 to fucking welterweight. Shit, you know. So it's like,
yeah, look how long Hopkins. Well, he was hopping around the ring in them last fights. How long Hopkins was at middleweight and how it hurt his performances at the end of his reign because he was draining himself and he could only expend decent amount of energy for half the fight.
Right.
The reason why the Hopkins Eastman fight was so god awful to watch.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he struggled with Jermaine Taylor even after going on Friday Night Fight and standing up there with the screen and breaking down Taylor's bow and arrow right hand and all of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen someone break down someone's weakness and flaws and all that shit on live TV
and still lose.
So it's like, that was a bad look. And then the whole time afterwards, he goes on a damn press run of he was robbed. And see, and honestly, he low key started a trend, because then after that, niggas was like, if I could make it seem, if I don't fight to win, but if I don't fight to lose, you can't say I didn't win.
Right.
And niggas started boxing in this neutralizing way and shit. Mm-hmm. And then, oh man, I should have won that shit, man. What you talking about? I didn't lose. I mean, cause you ain't fight to win either.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, like, I just see that shit, man. But nah, Usyk deserve his props, yo. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's Wilder who gotta prove himself, and hopefully he can against Helenius.
Yeah, like say Usyk has. I mean, Wilder pretty much has to, because Wilder's legacy is already set with the Fury fights, and it's not really a good legacy for someone you want to say, oh, this is a Hall of Famer. Like, what Hall of Famer wants to be known to get beat down 3 times? Or, you know, like he did. I mean, one of them was.
Hold on, could Wilder beat Usyk's opponents?
I mean, they don't have any common opponents. That's the problem. Like, you know,
could he beat Chisora? Yes, he could beat Chisora. Who else did he fight?
It would have been nice if he.
Yeah, I mean, he could beat Chaz Witherspoon. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the Joshua fight. I mean, obviously, we all know the whole Wilder Joshua drama. Like, in the end, Usyk. I mean, Wilder.
It was the 50-50 fight with a prime Joshua. Niggas were gonna risk the gravy train. Let's go against Tyson Fury, Operation Oliver McCall 3.0.
Yeah.
And we see how that played out. The end.
Yeah, that's the end. Yeah. You know, when you don't take the fight you're supposed to take, you know, the ones you get, the ones that get you.
Like, let me see. Wilder would beat Marco Huck.
Yeah, I mean,
those would be good names on his resume too. That's the thing. Like niggas, I don't want niggas to think that if Wilder was to beat those dudes, we wouldn't give him props. No, those are good names. That's why we're giving Usyk props, because he actually did it. Like,
yeah, because the fighters that Usyk beat at cruiser, they were tough. Bradis is probably his toughest fight. Probably the closest. It's the only fight I actually saw Usyk losing. You know.
Well, this is the thing. I don't know if Wilder could get down below 200. I
mean, he's been as low as 205, 206.
205, yeah, but then look, he could be at his limit though too. Mm-hmm. You don't know if he could break another.
Don't put him in that dang Bridger weight. Oh,
you see, I was trying to say what need not it to be said it did. But yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like, you could look at what, like, honestly, we don't know if Wilder could beat anybody's opponents. We could list current heavies and be like, does Wilder beat Vladimir's opponents?
Right.
Depends on what you want.
Yeah. So,
Does he beat a Calvin Brock?
Hell, he doesn't beat a David Haye. That's for damn sure.
Does he beat a Lamont Brewster?
I mean, he might knock out David Haye. I could see him.
No, he'll never knock. David Haye is like the one fighter that Wilder, because David Haye has,
because he had a style to take away that right hand.
Yeah. David Haye David Haye will always beat Wilder. Like, Wilder has nothing. That type of style has nothing, because footwork and extreme power. Yeah, no.
And defense, head movement.
Yeah. No, that gives Wilder,
because when every miss is going to be countered, like,
hard
with power and speed, like.
Yeah. Hayes, I would say to Hayes that like, Wilder will never beat a David Haye, and a David Haye fighter like that will give him fits and probably will beat him up. You know, but
so it's like all of that, man. Like, does he beat Sam Peter?
I was thinking about Sam Peter. That's a tough one. That'll be a tough one.
Yeah, does he beat a Chris Bird?
I mean, you guys talk about how crude Wilder is. Sam Peter was pretty crude himself, so that would be an interesting fight.
Yeah, but who had the fucking Olympic boxing god in their corner for half their career?
Right.
Like, if you just don't get better by Mark Breland just being in your fucking house and you talking boxing, then I don't know what's wrong with you.
Right. Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things about, like, you can't have. I mean, Triple G, Crawford, and Lomachenko. Lomachenko was trained by his fucking father. He didn't have anyone like that. Like, so it's like, you know, he literally had the advantage, and he never utilized that advantage.
His career's been guided perfectly. Like, you know how people, when they hate on Beyonce, like the Beyonce haters, be on some like, man, she's too perfect. Everything is just completely organized and this, that, and it's laid out. This, that. She always has the momentum and everything. This, that, all of that. And you're like, yeah, but yeah, she's been holding it down though. So I mean, hey,
yeah.
imagine someone doing that to someone in boxing from the beginning and just growing from there. Like, why do you think fights like Jennings and Chisora never happened? They didn't think that he could have, in his developmental process, that he could beat those type of opponents. Or they would have troubled him. And you've seen the sparring videos when people in that type of style fight him.
Right.
He gets whooped on.
Yeah. And like I said, most people, like, I mean, you know, that's why.
Does he become heavyweight champion if he fights fucking Chisora or Brian Jennings before Stavern?
No, except he got Malik Scott, who, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
And so you saw the levels there, like, you know, he knocked out Malik Scott, and now Malik Scott is training him, and he's kind of gone farther downhill, in my opinion. So it's like, it's like, Wilder is just pretty much like a lot of potential. He overachieved.
He said, yo, my nigga Low side, yo, come on. Wow.
It's one of those things. I mean, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't.
That's what it is. Like, that's what it come to. It's like Breland already has like a stand-up reputation from like 99% of the boxing community. Like,
right.
I'm just like, this is the thing, man. Like, I don't think, like, you could, you know what, you could say Breland was probably, you could probably make that accusation that he was allegedly just collecting paychecks, but also you could say that he was just paid to just make the gym have credibility,
right?
and just, him being there. Remember, he had a co-trainer. Like, where's the blame on Jay Diaz?
Yeah, no, it gets none. Wilder doesn't even blame him.
Y'all blame the black man, but then everybody's always on this Wilder like to this day shit. Like, so it's like, and honestly, it's like, and that's just the whole weird shit about this game. We said it before, Pat. Like, the whole irony of this situation is he fired the black man who was saving his life from the white man who was beating the shit out of him, who was trained by a black man.
Right.
Nigga, this is like Inception, damn paprika levels of fuckery.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, I don't know how Breland gets blamed for this shit.
Yeah. You know,
like,
but
are y'all gonna go home to his fine ass wife and take care of his kids? Like,
yes.
like, what the fuck? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just like, I mean, yeah, Wilder, like I said, he overachieved for all his shortcomings and stuff like that, but the shortcomings that actually hit his ass, you saw that there was levels, and he got a lot of unnecessary punishment that he didn't have to take, he didn't need to take, but
and he took it late in his career where, you know, you're not the same.
Right. So that's why it's like, you know, so that's why when I say Hall of Fame, it's like, you know, you got to put his wins. I mean, yes, we know the Hall of Fame is not perfect. Yes, there's fighters in there that should not be in there, you know, but it's just like, you know, Wilder is not one of those fighters that, okay, he's like a sure thing. He shouldn't. I mean, I know P's more. I think P's more stricter than me. P's like none of them should be in there, you know. But these
and I disagree with that. Like, you can't tell me right now Lomachenko is not worthy of the Hall of Fame.
No, they're all going to get.
If we're just talking straight pros, up in the air.
That's not just straight pros, though.
You know, they have the ESPN.
If that's the case, I don't think Andre Ward has had his Hall of Fame career. We just talking pros.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll stand down on that.
I know you will.
Any podcast nigga could fucking listen to this shit and hey man, I gotta get Shudder and I disagree. Go fucking ahead. I've been arguing this shit for years. Like, take your pick. And Tim Bradley's had a better career than him.
I think Tim Bradley low-key should, you know, I think next time, Tim Bradley should be getting in that motherfucker.
Tim Bradley's Tim Bradley first ballot. Like,
I think he has to wait a couple years already, but I think he'll eventually get in, you know.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, if people had to choose between Bradley and Wilder, they're gonna say Wilder because heavyweight champion.
Bradley definitely. But
rightfully, the Pacquiao gift rubs niggas the wrong way though.
Of course, yeah.
So I can't just be like, yeah, y'all hating. I could be like.
But we're not hating on Wilder. It's just like, it's the truth. Like, I mean, and like, we're not just singing out Wilder. I mean, we sing out all the other fighters. Like, people think Triple G was an overrated Euro. People think Crawford didn't fight nobody. Sean Porter was his toughest opponent. People think Lomachenko was just, you know, is just an old media darling, and you know, and eventually, I mean, they didn't live up to any of his.
They all get in for different reasons, God. That's what it comes down to. Bud for the dominance and throughout levels, and he's the king of the mid-tier niggas. Like, you get any B-level fighter in the history of his divisions, I guarantee Crawford stops him. Tell me I'm lying.
That's also facts.
Yeah,
you can low-key say that about Triple G too, but at least you can say he stands even with anybody else though. You can't, there's nobody that you could just at middleweight that. Dude, you had to go to Sugar Ray Robinson, Roy Jones type niggas for me to just flat out pick somebody confidently, like really favor them over Triple G head to head like that. So he gets the hypothetical, he gets the defenses. Politic wise, we know he gets a little sweet pea love with the Chavez fight, Canelo reference.
Right.
So like he gets in for dominance, the knockouts.
Let's say longevity. I mean, he had a pretty long reign too.
That too. So, you know, and you compare it to Crawford, they share the same longevity. Crawford did it over different divisions. So, like I said, they both make it. Lomachenko gets it, you know, 2 gold medals, fucking Oh, Triple G had the silver medal, so
Silver medal, yeah.
And I think Loma has the quickest 3-division champion or some shit. You know, like in less than 8 or 9 fights or something.
Well, I think he shares that record. I mean, it would have been the fastest, if he got
Salido.
Yeah.
and he's beating world champions, and he's fought like decent guys, and he's wrecked dudes. He's made dudes. It's like. Not saying Lomachenko is fucking Hall of Fame, like after what he did to Walters and what like I don't know about all that. Like, while if you had to rank them all, it'd probably be Loma, Triple G, Crawford, Wilder, or Loma, Crawford, Triple G. Like you could honestly, there's no way to rank them, but Wilder would be number 4.
Yeah.
Definitely number 4. You whatever preference you have for the other 3, you will put them first, but then Wilder.
Right.
And imagine if it's a stacked year, like they'll put Wilder over. Like, what other heavyweight could you put over Wilder?
Come again? What do you mean?
Like, if you had to choose 2 heavyweights. Like maybe that could be a poll. What's some Hall of Fame? What's some heavyweight champions that hadn't gotten in yet, and they had to put them with Wilder? Like,
that's actually that's a good poll. I like that. I like that poll.
Yeah, because it's like, and you got to remember, you got to look at the era they fought in. Like the top, like every top 10, every era of top 10 contenders ain't the same. Like these niggas ain't even on the Aquendos and Lance Whitaker levels and shit.
And that's what I was mentioning before with Vlad. Like Vlad gets a lot of shit for his, but Vlad cleaned out his division.
Yeah.
He held the belt for 10
years. He was
years.
fighting top 5, top 10, top 15, top 20 guys and knocking out most of them.
And barely losing rounds. And this is after he got knocked out brutally 3 times.
So it's like Wilder wasn't doing that. Like, you can't say too many guys Vladimir didn't hit. I mean, fight. Same thing for Tally. If one didn't catch him, the other one got him.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even say that with the Charlos. Like, how many niggas gone missing between them? Like, come on.
Right.
Like, that's just crazy. But damn, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, the last few days been busy as fuck. Like, I ain't even feel like doing this damn podcast, but I feel like this been like the best one we had in a minute. But then I look at it like, god damn, the last couple been real good too. So
right, it's because we still got the engagement. But yeah, I think this one, I think when we warmed up with our talk before we got on, yeah, I think that got shit flowing. You know.
Oh, hold on, Andre Ward's your all-time favorite? Damn. Oh, okay, man. Sorry to hear that.
No, SOG's a great fighter.
Nah, he is. He's quality, but it's just when we start talking about Hall of Fame and just great, like.
I mean, my thing is he got in before James Toney on the same bout. That's the shit
that's what disgusts me. Like, you couldn't tell me Andre Ward a better fighter than James Toney.
Never,
ever in your 100 years.
Dog, lights out is a cold motherfucker, man.
Like, nah, like if one did way more for boxing than the other. Like, just his performance.
Well, Tony was hated by the media. That's what.
Yeah, because
old boxing media was a bunch of pussies.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I know even Ward. I remember even Ward
hating was ass niggas, man.
I mean, even Ward showed deference, because I think when him and Tony were in the same video, and he was like, "Yeah, I could do that shoulder roll stuff too." But he showed a little deference to Tony because Tony was that dude, and Tony would be probably worth a podcast topic himself, a future topic, because he was a bad dude. Like, it's fine, like. Yeah,
we gotta do like him versus Hopkins or something, or some kind of that.
Oh, he beats up Hopkins. Stop that. Tony beats the crap out of Hopkins.
Agreed.
It's just Hopkins' footwork is the only thing I worry about in that fight, and the headbutts. And I remember when they was talking shit on Boxing Talk years ago, potentially trying to get at that fight, and Tony was just shitting on Hopkins' skills. I remember reading these interviews. James Tony was saying shit like Hopkins is afraid to get hit. He lunges in there with his head down, with his forehead and his head lowered so he could headbutt you first, and then he throws his right hand blindly at you while conveniently getting out the way. Like, and he does that on purpose, so he has 2 chances to hit you. And he was just breaking Hopkins down, and I'm like, God damn, like, this nigga's right. I can't stand this dirty motherfucker. Like I ain't gonna lie, when I picked Jermaine Taylor to beat Hopkins, when he beat Hopkins, that was like one of the happiest moments of my boxing life. Nigga, I ran outside, I ran around the what's that, the front part of the house, separated by the sidewalk.
The porch?
Nah, it's the grass part by the road, nigga. Nigga said the porch. He run around the porch. Oh yeah, y'all niggas up north and shit. But yeah, I ran around. I guess I ran around. I guess the little parking lot in the road. I guess. Yeah, I did a lap, nigga.
Got a question in the comments. Broner for the Hall of Fame? Yes or no?
Hell no.
The way this nigga popping.
Is Mikey Garcia in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in there.
Okay, but AB isn't, right?
Yeah, but Broner.
He's 4 division champion though.
Broner has a case. We might not.
Broner has a case. You know what? Fuck it. Broner gets in there. I think he's a Hall of Famer. Fuck it.
Yeah, but I mean, but the problem is Broner has not won a big fight like in forever, since Paulie, like a really big fight. Like he's your jobber to the stars. That's pretty much what he's been doing. Like,
yeah, but he's a Hall of Fame level jobber to the stars. That counts for something.
Who has bigger wins, Broner or Arturo Gatti?
Damn. Well, Arturo Gatti's in the Hall of Fame, so
yeah, he deserves every bit of it.
I don't agree with Gotti being in there.
Yeah, I know, Pat. We don't argue this for years, like arch nemesis.
Hold on, Pat. You say you said Gotti don't belong in there?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I know why is it because he's a sentimental favorite. Old media love the guy, and I love watching them fight. Like don't like you know.
Yeah.
Now, Crawford gets in there before Broner. I gotta be honest, yo. Like undefeated up till now. 3 divisions, okay, 1 less division, but way more dominant. But I'll say this.
But
Broner had
and 2 lineals,
yeah, he definitely gets it. But I'll say,
niggas' ages. Don't forget that. It's not like Broner was like 38 or something.
Broner DeMarco was the best performance out of the both, though.
I don't know about all that.
He's like, I don't know.
Oh no! Let me. I'm sorry. Maybe the thrilling war that was with Crawford and Delorme, nigga.
Oh my!
Maybe the thrilling shootout with Hank Lundy.
I mean, they both share.
Fuck out of here! Like,
I mean, they both share a common opponent in Porter. You know, Porter pretty much gave Broner a beats for 11 rounds and got dropped. And then whereas Crawford, he
outworked Broner. He ain't really beat Broner's ass. Broner was.
But the thing is, though,
blocking a lot of them shit. He just looked trash.
The reason why I don't look at because Porter had to come in at like 143 or some bullshit like that because they put
145.
But Porter came in less than that though, and then Broner was like couldn't make it himself, so they kind of changed it on the fly because Broner wasn't who wanted the catch weight, and then Porter decided, pretty much almost blanked him. It wasn't for the knockdown, so that's why I lost huge respect for Broner, and I didn't have.
Wasn't the story with that was Broner overtrained in Vegas with Mayweather for that fight?
Something like that.
I mean, that's what I always heard.
Yeah, but it's like
John Molina Jr. is a common opponent.
Oh,
yeah.
Sugar John. Oh my.
Sugar John.
That was a boring ass fight for Broner, man. Jeez.
I remember I shitted on that too because Molina was coming off of the huge beating from Lucas, and then the other fight he got upset by what's his name? Like he's coming up.
He had a rap song dissing Broner too, like.
Yeah.
All that going for you, and that's the performance you had.
Yeah. That was a shit performance. Whereas Crawford did what he had to do against Molina. Molina was, he beat down Molina. There's no ifs.
All I'll say is that Broner, I would give Broner a better case of making the Hall of Fame than some of old boxing media's darlings, Linares.
Hell yeah, whoa.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. You see, because Linares, I feel like he's Hall of Famer, but more on like the mid-tier Hall of Fame, like slow year type niggas.
No, see, we were talking about this earlier.
Like low level Hall of Fame or something. I don't know.
We were talking about this earlier today and how like Linares' resume to me is very smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
Like it's very fluffed up and it's not all that good. And it's funny because nowadays, like even to this day, like in this day and age, because he's still fighting, we joke about, and rightfully so, not joke, but we talk about how much Gamboa is a punching bag and how he shouldn't be in the ring. But yet, Linares ain't no different than Gamboa. Like, he really shouldn't be in the ring either. Like,
true, but you know what the happen is? Linares just has the look and the skills and the speed, and he has all the shit that just aesthetically pleasing, like for a lot of boxing fans. Like,
Yeah.
like, of course, Gamboa fights in the style, but it's more of an entertainment base because he jumps in there, he's throwing haymakers, he's unconventional sometimes, hands down, chin up, he could hurt you, he could be hurt. Linares is one of those guys where it's like this is like Amir Khan, like with more practice or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like remember, like Linares training, like this is a nigga who was sparring Matisse, like boxing and looking good. Like remember, people was comparing him to like a young Oscar De La Hoya when he was young.
Right. But he just, unfortunately, the chin
gave him the Golden Boy nickname. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, and the thing is, people, I guess, saw more potential in Linares, and they never want to give it up. Whereas, like, they gave up on the potential for Broner years ago, and I don't blame them, but I just feel like they penalize Broner for it more than they do Linares.
Because
And Linares has lost, his losses are worse.
that's also true. Yeah, Linares has some of the wildest losses I've seen. Like,
Well,
Honestly,
Linares
that's a new
also
poll.
has to be propped up now because they got to prop up Loma. So they got to prop up Linares because Loma beat Linares.
and
Yeah,
Linares,
that's true.
and Linares was giving Loma a tough ass fight too. Like he dropped him. Most people forget. Like Linares was putting his foot in Loma's ass for a good minute, for a good part of that fight.
Yo, Android, facts. That's like, you got exactly what I meant. It's like, if I like, that's exactly what I was trying to say. Like, Linares is one of those guys that looks unbeatable on the punch field and mitts. Like, he's everything you want to look like. If you're playing Fight Night, you'll create a guy like that. You'll be like, you know what? I don't want him the tallest guy in his division, but I want him to have a good height, speed, maybe 85. Power about 87, agility, footwork, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like fights Antonio DeMarco, putting on a clinic, take one shot, get tired, whatever, stopped. Next fight, what's the one where I think second round KO?
Yeah,
Oh, that was a fight after, like,
yeah.
and this keeps on happening sporadically throughout different divisions. Like, I think that you could make a new poll. You could have like if you had to choose who gets into the Hall of Fame first right now, and you put Broner and Linares, I know a lot of hating ass niggas going, maybe Boxing Media Fuel, I bet they'll be picking Linares over Broner when both their careers are comparative, but Broner has bigger moments, and his moments and his lows on his lows.
Right.
Linares equals Amir Khan fast hands, gets confused with great boxing skills. Shit, not even shit. Like, Linares barely get outboxed, he just get out punched.
Right. I mean, hell, Linares. In fact, isn't Linares he's like a 3-division champion too, which is another thing.
Yeah. With shit, Broner's 4, so I mean, see, that's the thing. Like, you know, that's why I rate highly guys like Golovkin who could stay in one division and really, you know, fight the best fights of that period. You know, instead of just hopping around for whatever reason trying to collect belts.
Right.
Not saying that's what these guys did, but you know, it's out there. It happens.
Yeah. So.
Robert Guerrero. One more. I know it's late. Robert Guerrero.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Anybody in the comments? What y'all think?
Yeah. No.
No one's gonna argue that. Okay, good. I agree.
Yeah, look, like I say, I used to argue. I used to argue with Floyd stance. Like, Robert was a great opponent for Floyd because boxing skills were too struggled to take advantage of someone coming up 2 divisions, but then of course you saw Robert's level after that Floyd fight where he lost his prime to Kamagai.
Yeah, that's good ass fight. Fight.
Yeah,
Forgotten Fade actually.
You know what? That might actually be the next article because I remember that fight was a real ass. I mean, he won that fight, but he took some real punishment. Because I remember even in the ring, Best I Faced, he even mentioned it too. It was like, that dude was. He was like, that dude was lighting me up. It's like,
Oh, shout out to Ayo Be Easy. Like I honestly didn't see the name earlier because I'm not wearing my glasses, and I thought your comment was Lone Star comment. So my bad.
Yeah,
I'm just reading comments and shit. Like I could recognize Android and Lone Star, so my bad on that.
Yeah, I agree, Android. Jamel definitely should be top 5, maybe at the lowest 6 on Pepper Pound lists for sure.
For real.
I can't even see 6. Like nigga, somebody got to make a room for top 5.
Yeah, he's top 5.
Like, you could say 4 if you want to.
You can say 4 or 5. You can say 4 for sure. Yeah.
But yeah. I know we run off our tangent on the Hall of Fame, but that was good though. It's boxing conversation, so that's what it is.
But you know what? For years we always talked about like we need a episode like on the Hall of Fame credentials, like what makes somebody Hall of Fame. Like, and I think this was like a good.
Yeah, we should next time eventually do like some like where when they announce. When they announce the inductees, we should definitely talk about it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And definitely, fucking Jamel should be above Spence. I know that's right as well. God damn it.
Easy, yeah.
Shout out, yeah. Salute, Ayo Be Easy. That's damn facts. And we've been saying that shit for years, actually. Like honestly, Spence just had the type of performance and win that could make you kind of justify it or say he might deserve it. But nah, Charlo been doing it.
Right.
But shit, they from the same camp. Like, it's all low. Shit, ain't gonna put niggas against each other. Nah. I'm glad they both there. Fuck it. Like, remember that one dude with the whole, there's too many black fighters in the top 10 pound for pound.